that thing, man. Look at that thing! So a little progress report. Roof done, had to do the little patch. It's not perfect, but I haven't got enough to do the roof again, and the rest of it is really good. Front wings look kind of good on probably video, but if you look really closely, lots of little glue line imperfections, little bubbles that then I thought I had, but I didn't. Bonnet, same thing, and now it's kind of peeling on a couple of edges, but lessons learned there. This side's starting to come together. I'm doing the headlights, so what I'll do is headlights and then the trim bits underneath, and that go in the grille in the middle, and then fit the front bumper, which I've done a little bit of it, and then I'm going to do an inlay for the bottom half. But while I'm waiting for filler to go hard as well, so just a couple of tiny little repairs that are major, so all the little dents and dings and stuff I'm not touching, but a couple of the really deep ones I'm trying to repair. So while that's all drying, I need to think about the bumper. So my thought was, do I fiberglass this up and then fill it and then sand it and then fill it and then it comes loose anyway? Or I get a really cheap eBay diffuser that fits in there that looks really nasty, and then, yeah, why not? But the downside to that, it will rub against the exhaust, but that's not a problem because the exhaust, whilst looking very beautiful, and I appreciate that many would, give a left arm for this, or left finger anyway. You don't need left fingers. It was never put in the place I wanted it. It comes up, and I want it straight, and it's so low that it catches pretty much on everything. And the clasp itself gets caught on stuff as well, so not ideal. So in the long term, what I'm hoping to do is have straight pipe and then a valve for a silencer. This silencer actually tucked up here with a little pipe that just tucks here that no one can see, and then just a straight pipe out. For now, for the show, we're going to straight pipe it, and then this won't be rubbing against our amazing aero package. So I'm no Piggy, and it's not the best work. For some reason I can do fusion welding beautifully, and I can do alloy welding with rod, no problem. As soon as I use stainless with rod, it goes all grey and crispy. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I am a complete beginner, don't forget. But it looks shiny, it does the job, and one day the silencer will come back up here. But for now, we need to cut this out to make room for aero. Anyway, fits loads better, as you can see. Sticks out as I want it, and it's nice and level. Perfect. Noisy. Dang. I'm not saying that's come out well, but that's come out real good. Yeah, these don't seem to sort of look right anymore with the grey, so I went for an eBay punt. I've got a set of them. Just don't look quite nice. Very nice. Very nice. Well guys, so front bumper is wrapped. We had another fail where it tore a second time, and then I tried wrapping from the centre out and it seemed to work a lot better. There is some imperfections still, obviously I'm rubbish at this, but check these crazy things out. I hope you like them, and it doesn't matter if you don't. So there they are. That's them. Not sure what to say about that. Fog lights are coming together now. Painted the insides the same colour that I'm painting a bunch of other stuff, including the headlight masks, and these will turn into daylight running lights, which I had on my original GT 2.1. They were like connected to the ignition, so as you drove around, little LEDs, not as bright as the fogs, just daylight running lights, and then they just did something better than Lucis fogs, to be honest. But this has to happen next, let's be honest. We have to put a big old nasty eBay skirt on it as well. And then we'll get the grill in, then we get the fogs in, and we'll build this front end up. And hopefully by dinner time, I'll have a front end again. Whoop-de-doo. This is looking... So you always know things are happening in the workshop when you can't really see much more of the workshop floor anymore, other than a bit over there. So I can actually get to stuff that's all over there. But, look at that thing. What a beast. And this thing too. So we had to trim around these because they all peeled, and I've cut out these reliefs which were perfect, and then they sat in the sun in the boot, and obviously with heat they popped out, so we'll have to put in some pieces in there, but I can sort that out at a later date. It's not a problem. And while we're at it, we riv nut these, which are normally like plastic clips which break, and replace them with some nice shiny nuts and bolts. Nice stainless one to hold that too. Stainless ones on the headlights, so that if someone does just have a little peek under here, hopefully they'll just get stopped in amazement at these wonderful shiny screws and not look at the, that. So, let's get the bumper on. We also spray blacked that area there and that area there, as you can see. Right, bumper fit. Look at that thing, man. Look at that thing! So we're sort of nearly at the halfway point now. Need to finish off a few bits on the door. Need to do the wing mirrors. There's always little bits to be done, but getting there. But while I do that, I want some paint drying here, so we did a bit of correction there. There was a big dent there, golf ball like size. There was actually a rust kind of dent here, so we fixed all that. And then there was a really deep scratch which has been there from day one across there, so filled that, sanded the area. If we did every dent, literally every panel would have loads of filler over it. It's quite forgiving, this stuff, but you can still see the dents in that door, for instance. But yeah, it's quite forgiving the way it kind of reflects the light and stuff. But we've done the worst bits and the bits that had rust on it, so we'll just give them a bit of zinc primer and then wrap over them. Robert's your mother's brother. So we're at that point with the project where like there's more stuff off it than on it, and there's like boot full of bits, and there's more bits in the Mini, and there's a bumper over there, and at that point you think, goodness me, am I ever going to get it done? But sort of from the B-pillar forward is done, other than the skirts. So now I'm hopefully going to do this rear quarter today and get the skirt done as well. That'd be nice. And then maybe we can make a start just on the rear bumper a little bit, or maybe the other quarter and the other skirt, not sure yet. Bumper's off though, because they're easy to wrap around there. Got to do that wrap section at the bottom, and the top section of the bumper I'm going to wrap off and then fit afterwards. So that just makes those things easier, but you've got to take so much off you forget. Anyway, windows out, window rubbers out, the fake cap's off, the trim's off, that's down. We've put a strip of black paint down there so that where there's a gap between the skirt and the body, you're not going to get a nice blue shadow, you'll get a black shadow and you won't really see it. That's the plan anyway. Anyway, thoroughly cleaned, deep tarred, clay barred, propofol, alcohol. Let's get on with wrapping. So I think I mentioned I was doing this before. We've just done with the first skirt, which is okay, has its complications on the ends. But these, you drill out the rivets. You could replace the rivets or put some self-tappers in. But I've put some riv nuts in, M5. Sealed them in with some nail varnish. That's just the quick stuff, the handy stuff, and just a little brush, get it in there. And I use red just so I know where I've been. You can use clear. And then M5 stainless bolts to go in. Looking tidy. Might be hard to see, but essentially that side is done. Need to glue in the little strip. We'll put a couple of dabs of glue on the back of there because it doesn't clip in quite right. The rear strip's done. That definitely was the easiest piece ever. 100%. Took me about 4 or 5 minutes. Trims up real nice. There's actually a join there. Obviously there's a join like in the panels. If you know the 306s, some people fill them, but I can't be bothered, as I had to do a join there anyway. So we're now prepping the back because we've done this side and the little skirty thingies on. Lots of fiddly things, lots of things I don't like, lots of things I'd do better if I had any skill, but I don't, so I won't, so I'll carry on. Alright, that was really tricky due to the shaping and moving so much, etc. I actually ended up doing a cut up the top there, cut there and a cut there, which I don't think will be too obvious, and I'm not sure I care too much either. There'll be a big ugly spoiler there which would detract everything from that. Right, we can't be doing with this ugly badge, and better fit some lights. That'll be it for this evening, I think. Let's get the badge on, check out that spoiler, get the lights in. It's looking... I'll let you finish that sentence. I've got to make a couple of brackets for the spoiler, and I haven't finished the bumper, but we've done 2 inlays, the top edge and an inlay in there. Got the bumper bolted on, and now we're going to get the wheels off, because they look kind of cool, but I think you're going to like the new wheels even more. And the new wheels don't need spacers, which is really cool, which means 2 things. I can run them without spacers. There we go. It's really struggling, this camera, to focus on that material. We can run them without spacers at that width, or run them with spacers and be super wide. I think you know where this is going. We are burning all sorts of candles at both ends. And we are seriously over-engineering this car. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cable ties. Yeah, that's how we engineer things here. 5 cable ties. That's at least 2 more than we need. New number plates are on, pressed. Nice. Velcroed as well, because we've got some show plates, which is nice. You'll notice the obvious, where all the, vinyl is just kind of popping out where it shouldn't be, but that is fine. I reckon, I just said to my wife that if I tried to do a bad job on this rear bumper, I would have done a better job than trying to do a good job. I knew it would be a bit of a nightmare, but it has literally been the worst of the lot. The new wheels are there, you can't see them very well, but maybe in the daylight, when it's not raining, I'll show you. So, leaves me to say, that's a wrap. Looking okay. When you come out the next morning, because it was dark when you fitted your wheels, to have a little look. I'm very happy. I need to sort out all the wheel scrubbing, number plates, fan wiring, brackets for the spoilers, clean the inside, and we should be done. Go to wash, go to wax. I think then, yeah, we did. Must sort out wheel scrubbing because pokey poke. Okay then, so it was scraping the front tyres. I couldn't work out quite what wrong here, especially as the same width of tyre. We're just actually a narrower wheel, so less stretch and slightly off, slightly further out, only by 5mm, but it was actually catching on this lip here. So I've beat it round and then undersealed it like a boss. Here, the old 306 gap. You can adjust these things here, but you can go full Jap spec and fit an elastic band. So that's what we're going to now do. It's raining, it's beading like a boss, and I have to admit those rear wheels look well, the wheels in general just look absolutely amazing. Yeah, it doesn't look bad on camera anyway. You can see there's still dents and stuff, but I mean it's peeling on every corner, surface, like it's peeling everywhere. But it might just last until 10 days time when we go to Pugfest. He's still struggling to focus on it. There we go. Right, let's get on. Also comment below, what colour should my calipers now be? I'm going to get renewed suspension eventually. Should I get orange suspension to match the calipers? Or do the caliper colours just not kind of go with the scheme anymore? Not really sure. I'm fancying red now, but that seems a bit too obvious. We're on to some final stages now, I think. Front show plate is back in action. That hasn't been used in years. I thought I had a rear one that said power, but I think when I used this plate, it was pre-Piggy Power days. So I just got the front one. I had drilled it in before, so I've covered them with stickers. Perfect. We've put the arch liner back in this side and hopefully fixed the whole slicing my nice tyres. Like actually nice chunk came out of there. Knocking those lips back. So hopefully that's sorted, and we've just done the wiring. So remember we put a slimline wire in there, and the big one slimline there, the little one there, and we sort of fiddle around with making sure they're both blowing air through. One's pulling, one's pushing, and put some nice plugs on them now as well. So that'll just get cable tied there for now, and because that'll do. And hopefully at Pugfest I'll just keep the bonnet shut. And the one thing I might do when I come back from holiday, I have one day, a few hours, is like polish the radiator and the thingy and the pipey and put some gold wrap on there, and that's about all I'll do. But for now, we're just moving on to putting our wind deflectors, because we are just very JDM right now. Like, I just need a Honda badge. And we've got the wind deflectors on, adding a little touch. We've also added a little extension on the back. Not sure about that yet, but the rear was lacking something. And we need to make some brackets for that. We're on the final straight for the show anyway, and we're doing well. Going on holiday in 2 days. It's got to be done by then, and I've got work and a wedding. So cool beans. We're about there, people. We've just got 1 or 2 things to do on it now. Centre cap still to arrive, rear badge, brackets on the spoiler, and that's about it. But it does look pretty blooming alright. Looks alright. Looks alright. Still not sure about the old caliper colours. They'll either grow on me or we'll make them red. I don't know. Orange seems to be the right colour, but I'm not sure. As in for the theme. So there you go, peeps. A couple more things to do. to just finish her off, and we'll empty the garbage out of it as well, and then take it for a test drive and see how badly the front rubs and how much of the arch I need to roll and possibly cut off. Okay, so this is what we've come up with for our little bracket that will sit on there. A couple of top tips here. Once again, we love riv nuts. We drilled a small hole first though, in case we have to use a self-tapper on here, because I wasn't sure about double-faced metal stuff, which there is another running just here, so it's pretty tight. Little 2mm holes for the screws, otherwise you'll crack up the fiberglass. We've obviously sealed in that one as well, and I used a bit of masking tape, peel it back, catches all the bits of the metal and all this rubbish, so it doesn't go over your new bodywork. So let's get that polished up. That's what we're going to go with. I'm going to go with a polished effect, or I might just paint it black. That should transfer all the downforce into the boot. Very nice. Then it'll just be a case of it'll sit for a week and then we'll wash it for Pugfest and see you there, which is past tense, so I saw you there. So everyone, to finish off the build, I guess, Prescott Hill tomorrow for Peugeot Festival, Pugfest. A few last little bits done. We had to do some corrections on the vinyl. The arches have been rolled and they're kinking now and stuff. They're just, you know, the metal will only do so much. However, our centre caps are on, so that's a win. Go faster stripe, so that's also a win. We've also waxed it, so that should give us some protection. I don't think I mentioned, but we put these extra supports on to get all the downforce into the car. We polished the exhaust tip, that's always important. And these bits here, along there, and in there, keep blowing. Even though I did insets, they're blowing out still some more. So I tried to put them in completely cold, and hopefully that will fix that issue. And then we got some boot badges, which quite pleased with. Vehicle Decals UK, I think, did that. They do all the OEM ones as well, which is nice. And yeah, she's looking good. We're going to try, if I have time later this evening, just to maybe look at the engine bay, because someone's going to lift the bonnet on it, and it's a right mess. But looking good. All the extra little plasticky Chinese bits are on for the win. And a little carbon fibre fakeness is there. As you can probably just see in the video, there's bits that have randomly like peeled and ripped. Don't know why. As I say, I've never wrapped a car before, so this is my first attempt at managing that situation. Anyway, see you, hopefully, at Peugeot Festival. And if not, see you on the next episode of Piggy.